Hello, boys and girls. Mr. Payne couldn't be here, but he did leave me with a joke. Why did the frog go to the hospital? Ha! To get a operation. We have lesson 2 now, so sit back and enjoy.
Deformed frogs appeared too. In 1995, middle school students in Minnesota found some frogs near a farm. They were juvenile leopard frogs, just like the one Tyrone studies. Many of the Minnesota frogs had missing legs or shriveled legs or legs that didn't bend. It was strange and scary. People began finding deformed frogs in many other places too. What is happening to the world's amphibians? The answer isn't simple. Amphibian decline has many causes. Since the 1980s, the chytrid fungus has spread around the world. The disease is killing amphibians in North America, Central America, South America, and Australia. To make it worse, global warming seems to cause temperatures that help the fungus spread. Though scientists in New Zealand believe they've discovered a chemical that kills the fungus, finding and treating wild frogs would be very difficult. Some species of frogs living at high altitudes are threatened by ultraviolet or UV radiation. Man-made chemicals have thinned the ozone layer in our atmosphere. The Earth's ozone layer keeps most of these damaging UV rays from reaching us. At high altitudes, the air is thinner, and if thin air is combined with a thin ozone area, even more UV radiation reaches the Earth. High levels of UV radiation can kill the delicate, shell-less eggs of amphibians that live in mountain areas. Amphibians are also threatened by introduced species. An introduced species is a creature that shows up somewhere it isn't normally found. The bullfrog, a kind of frog that isn't declining, is native to the eastern and midwestern parts of the United States. It has been introduced by humans into ponds and streams all over the West. Introduced bullfrogs gobble up smaller native frogs and take over their habitat. Sometimes fish are introduced into lakes and streams so fishermen will have something to catch. The non-native fish usually have a taste for the native tadpoles. Often, a frog species faces not just one threat, but many. California's red-legged frog has been hit by a truckload of problems: habitat loss, fungal disease, and introduced bullfrogs and fish. And if all that weren't enough, red-legged frogs are also killed by pesticides sprayed on crops in California's Central Valley. The pesticides are blown by the wind into the foothills where many of the remaining frogs live. In those scary frog deformities, scientists found that some frog deformities are caused by a parasite. The parasite is a worm that burrows under a tadpole's skin and disrupts the tadpole's growth. It may prevent a leg from growing or cause deformed legs. Pesticides such as atrazine make frogs more vulnerable to parasites, and pesticides can also cause strange frog deformities. Sometimes those deformities aren't as obvious as missing or shriveled legs, yet hidden deformities can still harm frogs. That's what Tyrone found when he tested frogs exposed to atrazine.
Bullfrogs are very aggressive and prey on other frogs. Like all amphibians, bullfrogs are cold-blooded. That means the temperature inside their body changes as the outside temperature changes. A Bell's horned frog gulps down a newborn mouse. It is sometimes called the Pac-Man frog, after the munching video game creature. Instead of chasing its prey, the Pac-Man sits and waits like a web-footed couch potato.